welcome back. My name is Chelsea. I wanted to come on here again just to, like I said in my first video, just talk about those vulnerable subjects to help other people feel less alone. And the subject I wanted to talk about today is the subject of depression. And that may be a triggering subject for some. I know there's a lot of stigma around, any kind of mental illness, especially depression. But I just felt a calling to not only share my, personal struggle with it, but just talk about it because I know I'm not the only one who deals with it, and I think it can be a silent, a silent issue that is quietly eating away at you. And I just wanted to open up this conversation about it, create this place as a safe place to help you feel not alone, because you aren't alone. There are so many other people who silently struggle with it, who, on the surface seem like they're so happy. They show up to work with a smile on their face, or the pictures they post, it creates this illusion. I think also on social media, it's a little bit hard because you see all these pictures and videos, and everyone's lives seem and feel maybe so perfect, and then you look at your own. It just creates kind of a false illusion. So I just wanted to talk about it because I know I'm not the only one who struggles with it, and I want to share my personal journey, mostly because last week especially, and this is a vulnerable share, and I won't go too deep on everything obviously, but I just hit a really especially low point. And I feel like in general, I don't know if you, but I have pretty high functioning depression, which means that you kind of carry this kind of low level of sadness, but you can go about your day, you can still go to work, you can show up and do everything you need to do. And on the surface, you may seem fine, but deep down, you're really not. And to that caveat, I just wanted to say, just to open up the conversation, that it's okay to not be okay. And that's one thing I had to learn to tell myself, because I think, especially with this illusion of social media that everyone is happy and and it feels hard to admit that maybe you aren't okay. But anyways, this past week, I just hit especially low points, and I don't know if it was Mercury retrograde or what, but obviously there's a lot going on in the world, and everyone has their own personal struggles. But I just felt I was crying more than usual and having just really dark, depressive thoughts, and kind of ruminating too much, I felt like, on negative thoughts and getting in my head about things. And what shifted in me was I realized that it was starting to affect my personal relationships, and I knew I needed to change something. So I am just using this as a message to you. If you feel, any, even if you don't have depression, even if you just are struggling or feeling sad about something, please seek help. Therapy is obviously a great option, but even just talking to a friend, talking to a family member, it really helps. Sorry, there's a plane going by. But I just wanted to talk about, I'll wait till the plane goes by. I just wanted to share what I plan to do because, like I said, I just realized it was starting to affect my personal relationships, and I knew that wasn't healthy. So what I plan to do is I realize I need to stop looking at social media so much, so I'm going to use it as a tool to open up, conversations. So I'll still go on there to like post or something, or, if I'm talking to a friend, but I'm gonna cut back massively. I am choosing not to scroll on there anymore because I don't think that's healthy. I realized sometimes you just kind of feel like you need an escape, and so I found myself turning to social media too much to scroll. And when it becomes that, I don't think that's a healthy space to be in. So I was catching myself doing that, so I'm going to massively cut back on that. The other thing I realize I've been doing is, and this isn't like, none of these things are inherently bad, but when you do them too much, they can more or less have negative impacts. Sorry, there's another plane going by. So yeah, the other thing I realize I do a lot is I love learning. So I will listen to a lot of audiobooks, podcasts, and I always have this mentality that any free moment that I have to like use it and learn more, put information in my brain, because my time is limited. As you know, I'm a mom and I work full time, or maybe you didn't know, but I'm a mom and I work full time. I have long commutes, so I'd use that long commute to listen to things, and those aren't inherently bad. But I realized I wasn't leaving myself enough space to just like breathe, enough space to just let my mind wander, and just create those open spaces to just not always feel like you have to be shoving information in you and constantly learning, or because there's only so much you can, I think, shove in your brain. And also on especially social media apps, they're just coming at you at such a rapid pace. It's like there's only so much your brain can handle. You really do need those open spaces to just kind of let your mind breathe, not only for your mental health, but just, in general. I think it's better. So I decided I'm going to cut back on the amount of time I am listening to podcasts and books on tape, and instead just either, have a moment of silence or or listen to music, that's inspiring and uplifting, because music actually has been shown to massively affect our mental health. Especially if it's uplifting, it can like instantly shift your mood. And so I realized I need to bring that back into my life. That is definitely one thing that has been missing, and I want to bring that back. So I don't know if that is you. If it is, I open that invitation for you to try that as well. The other thing I'm going to start doing is kind of, I'm going to be like assessing my supplements, obviously, because different supplements can really help with, sorry, I'm just going to shift here, with your depression. Some supplements include omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, obviously. So I'm just going to look at supplements, because not that, everyone can choose their own path, but for me personally, I just didn't really want to be on any pharmaceuticals. So I thought I will try more natural routes first, and if those prove to be not enough, then obviously I will go down the pharmaceutical route. But yeah, I always try to do natural ways first. And then I also want to focus on my sleep, more. I don't know if you struggle with insomnia, I sure do. So I will be looking at more supplements to help with sleep as well, because sleep can directly impact your mental health. And I definitely notice a difference. I don't know if you know, like if you have woken up and you could tell you did not get enough sleep, you're not going to be in your best mental state inherently. So focusing on your sleep can massively help. So I'm going to focus on that. Another thing I'm going to be focusing on is tuning back into the things that would fill my cup. So thinking back. So try to think back on things that used to just bring you so much joy and just fill you up. When I look back, I realize one of those things was I used to dance a lot, and I don't dance anymore. And I realized a lot of things got in the way of that, you know, being in abusive relationships and having a child and then work and, you know, all those things can affect your life. But at the end of the day, you do have to prioritize yourself. And I've learned that the hard way. I have not always prioritized myself. I've always, in the past, prioritized other people's needs above mine. And maybe that's you. So, and that's, you know, we're all learning. There's no shame, but just to open up that invitation for you to maybe start, prioritizing yourself again and looking back into the things that used to bring you so much joy. So for me, like I said, dancing, I used to dance, but this was like decades ago, like maybe 2 decades ago, definitely before my daughter was born. And I realized how much I missed it. And sometimes when I even turn on music and I listen to a song, I actually envision myself dancing. And I used to even like turn on music while I was getting ready or cooking and dance as I was doing those activities. And I don't even do that anymore. So I just wanted to, just whether I sign up for a class or, like I said, just start listening to music more and just start dancing. And I'm gonna probably do it by myself first so no one can see me, because it's been a little while and I'm a little rusty. And I would invite you to also to maybe infuse, even if you're not passionate about it, just dance. Like I think shaking your body and moving your body, it doesn't even have to be coordinated. That can be so good for your mental health, I think. Because one thing I realized with depression, it really is stored energy in your body, and learning how to work through and move it through your body is really healthy. So dance can be a beautiful way to do that, but you don't even have to, if you don't feel called to dance, just any kind of movement can really help. So dance is one thing I plan to incorporate. And the other thing I wanted to say with moving energy through, one thing I have learned the hard way is, you know, the phrase, you have to feel it to heal it. I think that is very true, obviously. But the one thing you have to be careful with that phrase is to not get stuck in that negative energy. And that's one thing I realized I was doing. I was feeling it, but it wasn't going through me. It was staying stuck in me. And I just had this like constant ache in my heart. And that's when I knew it wasn't healthy. And it isn't healthy. It isn't healthy to just stay in that sad state, you know, and constantly feel sad, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Just it stays stuck in your body. So yes, that phrase is true, but if you're dealing with depression like I have been, then you need to think of other modalities to infuse happiness and joy into your life. And yeah, so some other things you can try journaling. Journaling is an amazing tool. I used to journal a lot more, and I think I need to obviously get back into that, because journaling is just a way to just kind of brain dump everything that's in your mind, because when you're dealing with depression, you can kind of ruminate on thoughts, especially negative thoughts, and you can get into these like negative loops that replay over and over in your head, and yeah, it can get like a little unhealthy. So kind of dumping all of that just in a notebook, or even like if you have a digital notebook on your phone. I think there's something therapeutic, though, I will say, about handwriting it. I don't know, unless you don't prefer that, but I don't know, the physicality of it just like feels more therapeutic. And especially if it's like you're just brain dumping a bunch of like negative thoughts, then you can almost like, burn it or bury it, or throw it away, and just that mental release of that is also therapeutic, because it's like a mental, like, okay, I'm releasing all these negative thoughts that are stuck in my head or that aren't true about me. And yeah, so I think that would be a good practice for anyone. And yeah, another practice, now that I think about it, is infusing positive thoughts. So not just getting rid of the negative thoughts, but start infusing positive thoughts. Write little cute love notes for yourself. I think I'm going to start doing that. Just little reminders, because we can get so hard on ourselves. I know I am so hard on myself. Like, if anyone points out like a flaw that I'm already like insecure about, I will think about it for so long, and I'm sure you're that way too. So just showing compassion to yourself, showing more love to yourself. We write little love notes to other people. Like, why shouldn't we write something loving to ourselves? I think that is so beautiful. So yeah, you can like write it on a little sticky note, put it on the mirror so you look at it every morning, or you can put little like reminders in your phone so that you'll get like a ping, like, oh, just remember you're amazing. Just remember you got this. Just remember I'm here for you, because you are your own best friend. You have to remember that. And that is a reminder I'm telling myself too. I think we tend to forget that we are each other's best friend, or we are our own best friends, and we have to remember that we aren't the enemy to ourselves. We're our best friend, and we have to just remind ourselves and just be more loving to ourselves, and not so hard on ourselves and so nitpicking about every perceived flaw. So that is another reminder for you as well. But yeah, I just wanted to bring you along on this journey, because not only I'm just holding myself accountable, because like I said, I've just realized that this depression I've been dealing with, used to be more high functioning, and I essentially still am. But like I said, it has started to affect my personal relationships, and I don't ever want that. And also, I just realized it was getting to a really dark place that I just realized was not healthy for me to be in, or anyone to be in. So if you're noticing any of that, I invite you not only, yes, to seek help, of course, reach out to friends, family, just know that you're not alone. But then, just start using some of these techniques, some of these, just turn back to the things that used to bring you joy. One of the things, like I think I mentioned in my last video, I'm a creative. I have gotten so busy with life that a lot of my creative passions have kind of gone to the wayside a little bit, and so that's another thing I want to get back into. So I just invite you to turn back to the things that truly bring you joy, make time for them. it is okay to prioritize yourself. Remember that. You are worthy. You are amazing. You are loved. And you got this. So I will continue to share along as I go, just to hold myself accountable, but just to keep this dialogue going, because I know how hard it is to feel like you're alone and in this. And I also know how hard it is to talk about it, because none of my friends, deal with depression, at least that I'm aware of. And it just, you don't want to always like be talking about negative things to your friends. So I just noticed I kind of like kept it inside. Occasionally I'd bring it up because I'm, open, especially with my closest friends. But it is a vulnerable thing to talk about. So, but I just invite you to keep that dialogue open. And this is just going to be a safe place for anyone who is dealing with this as well. Just know that I know how you feel. You are not alone. And again, like I said, you are worthy. So I will keep sharing updates as I go along with this journey. And I just wanted to, just be here to just hold myself accountable, to just start taking my mental health more seriously, and just start prioritizing myself and prioritizing my joy, as you should too, because we're only here a short time, and of course there's always going to be things to be seemingly more important, and of course there are things, we have to go to work, we have to pay our bills, we have to take care of our family, but you have to fill up your own cup first. Remember that is one thing I'm trying to tell myself. And because filling your own cup up first will help everyone else around you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't. As you've heard the phrase, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first before putting it on your loved one. And that is such a true statement. So please use this as an invitation to prioritize yourself, because you are worthy, you are loved, and I'm here for you. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I will continue to talk about this, as well as other vulnerable topics, obviously. But I just wanted this to be a safe space for other people who may be dealing with this as well. All right, thank you guys, and I will see you next time.